Ayman, he's from Delhi, and
MashaAllah.
recently they selected a topic for the lecture on Deem Sahih platform with Sheikh Abu Hakim on the success of the hereafter, the reasons for success in this world and the hereafter.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Mubarak. So when is that one? What's that scheduled for?
So that is Saturday, isn't it, Abu Ayman? Afwan, Ayman, that is Ayman, isn't it?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Yes,
Alaikum salam.
yes, brother. On
Yes,
Saturday. Yes.
on Saturday, inshallah.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very nice. Alhamdulillah. Look forward to that. Is that one of the monthly lessons for Deen Sahih, or is it one of the ones which are specific to the various centers around India?
So this is the one under Deen Sahih. So what we have done is we have tried to slot in 2 or 3 lectures every month.
Yeah.
So Alhamdulillah, we so this is going to be part of that. But as part of that, what we have done is, yani, each of the brothers who are in different parts of India, the brothers involved, then they end up selecting the topics, and then we then coordinate and get the lecture ongoing. Alhamdulillah. So brother
Yeah.
Abu Hamza is from Delhi. So Delhi, I'm sure you know, isn't it, Abu Ishaq? It's the capital of India.
You had some scholars in the past from there, right? Dahlawi, right?
Yes. It is it was well known to be like a source of hadith and the center of hadith, really.
Mm-hmm.
You had Maulana Mian Nazir Hussain Muhaddis Dehlawi, who is supposed to be the most senior scholar or imam who passed away. Apparently, every other muhaddis in India, and this is what I've kind of heard and read, every other muhaddis in India would get his chain of narration via Mian Nazir Dehlawi.
What's his name?
Mian,
Nazir.
yeah, Mian Nazir Hussain Muhaddis Dehlawi is the full name.
Oh, no. Yeah, alhamdulillah. طيب. So hopefully, inshallah, we will see some more scholars of hadith coming from that region in the near future.
Inshallah, Ameen, inshallah.
طيب أخي أبو حمزة الدهلوي. Yeah, and Imran. Bismillah, تفضلوا.
الأب ماذا تريدين أنت يا حفصة؟
Are you sure? Check that again, please.
ماذا تريدين أنت يا حفصة؟
أحسنت. لماذا قلت أنت؟
Because حفصة is feminine.
لأن حفصة مؤنث. وأيضا المخاطب الخطاب للمؤنث. تريدين، ماذا تريدين؟ نعم، جيد. أنت. طيب تفضل أخي إمران. عفوا. First of all, also I should actually welcome quite a few new names I'm seeing in the room. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless your learning and keep us all sincere and allow us to benefit. So basically, you've all been given access to the microphone. Any particular time, any single word, any idea you don't understand, you are welcome and free just to open your mic and jump in. I have a question. Some people put their hand up first and then they open their mic and ask, but no problem. Whichever way you like is fine. And then we can just, if it's something which is possible to defer, we can defer it. If it's something which is relevant for that particular moment, then we can deal with it there and then, inshallah. And if I don't know, I'll say I don't know, and we will basically hopefully get an answer later. So just to bear that in mind. Don't feel free just to jump in whenever you need. Ma'am, Imran. أين عمران؟ تفضل. Is my sound gone or has yours?
No, I can hear you, Ustad, very clearly.
Imran, I can't hear Imran, but his mic's on. I suspect he's speaking, but his mic's not working. Labas, labas. If we can't get you working, Imran, then no problem. We'll give the mic to someone else, so we can keep the flow. If that's okay. Let's go for Habib. Aywa. Was that Zaid? Zaid, give me a hint that he's ready. Bismillah, Zaid. Habib, خلاص, you got it. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I can read. Yeah.
تفضل Habib.
Yeah. أريد حقيبة.
عيد. ولماذا حقيبة منصوب؟
It's object.
أيوه مفعول به.
مفعول به.
بارك الله فيك. And أين الفعل وأين الفاعل؟
فعل أريد.
بارك الله فيك.
فاعل.
أريد. والفاعل؟
فاعل مستتر.
أحسنت.
hidden.
أحسنت.
تقديره هذا أنا.
الفاعل ضمير مستتر تقديره أنا، أي أنا أريده. أحسنت. طيب
الأب أما عندك حقيبة؟
أحسنت. ما نوع هذا السؤال؟ أما عندك حقيبة؟ هذا السؤال, what type of question is it? منفي. نعم هو سؤال منفي. It's a negative question. طيب, if the answer is نعم, what does that mean? Hafsa said bala, but if she said na'am, what would that mean?
That means no.
It means ma indi haqibatun. It agrees with the actual question, word for word. It agrees with the question word. The question said, ama indaki haqibatun. Do you not have a bag or a satchel? And if the answer is na'am, that means na'am ma indi haqibatun. Yes, I don't have a bag. In English, you won't say that. In English, you'll say no to mean I don't have a bag. But in Arabic, if you say yes, then you are affirming the actual word of the question. And Hafsa said,
بلا عندي حقيبة حمراء أريد حقيبة أخرى سوداء.
Barakallahu feek. So this sentence here, this is actually the crux of a lot of today's lesson, is based on this over here. First of all, we know the meaning of or bala, or the usage of bala. Can someone just remind us? Fadl Akhi Sultan, you had your mic is on. You had something to add. Go ahead.
A bala, of course, or an affirmative yes.
جيد, barakallahu feek. So you use that when the question is negative. So the question says, "Ama indaka," or "Ama indaki haqibatun," or "Alaysa kadhalik." When there's a sentence which has a negative, let's say, format to it, and then the answer will come with bala if you want to negate the question, if you want to negate the negative. أحسنت أخي سلطان, barakallahu feek. طيب. So here we have, so it means that Hafsa has got a bag. She says, عندي حقيبة حمراء أريد حقيبة أخرى سوداء. Question. Before we go to the question, let me just take these words. حمراء, and أخرى and سوداء to the next, to the blank screen. Okay, so that's basically where we are today with these words. Last lesson, we had this word آخر, آخر, which means another. Yeah, أريد قلما آخر. That's what the sentence was, if I'm not mistaken, last time. He said, بلى عندي قلم أحمر أريد آخر أسود. Something like that he said. So آخر means another one. جيد. ولكن آخر مذكر. And the مؤنث of آخر is أخرى. جيد. آخر is ممنوع من الصرف. أخرى, to my knowledge, is not ممنوع من الصرف. And it basically means the same as آخر ولكنها مؤنث. جيد. أخرى مؤنث. طيب. So that's why the question is أما عندك حقيبة. حقيبة is مذكر ومؤنث. طبعا حقيبة is مؤنث. So she said أريد أخرى. I want another one. So she's referring to the حقيبة. So that's why she's not going to say آخر. She's going to say أخرى. And what is the i'rab over here? عندي حقيبة. She said, I think, with a color. حمراء أريد أخرى سوداء. So she said, let's have a look over here. أريد حقيبة أخرى. What is the i'rab? ما إعراب أخرى. منصوب. أحسنت بارك الله فيك. ولماذا؟
صفة.
نعم صفة لي حقيبة. طيب أين علامة الإعراب؟ هنا عندك حقيبة مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه فتحة ظاهرة على آخره. جيد. وهنا منصوب نعت لحقيبة منصوب وعلامة نصبه فتحة مقدرة. جيد. منع من ظهوره what is it that stopped that fatha from appearing? Is this alif, this alif maksur being there. So it's actually impossible for that alif to appear. So it's going to be at-ta'adhur. This is basically impossibility. Fathatun muqaddaratun mana' min dhuhurihi at-ta'adhur. It was the inability to appear that prevented it from appearing, so we assumed its presence is implied or assumed, if that's the right word to use. أريد حقيبة أخرى. Most important thing you know is that أخرى is جيد. And then in that same line she says عندي حقيبة حمراء أريد أخرى سوداء. Why is there only one dhamma, one fatha? أحسنت بارك الله فيك. هذه الكلمة ممنوعة من الصرف. جيد. So And you should also know that these words, these colors, they are the mu'annath of the form of the colors. So you have ahmaru, and you have hamra'u. You have azraku, azraku, and you have zarqa'u. I want you to notice that there's a pattern here. You remember we spoke about the patterns, where you have the fa, the main, the root letters of any verb are generally, they are they're aligned with fa, ain, and lam. Okay, so the pattern of the colors, which are mamnu' min as-sarf, is af'alu. And so now you know that the fa is lining up with the ha, the ain is lining up with the meme, the lam is lining up with the ra. Jayid? So then do the same thing over here. Fa, and then you've got the meme, which is here, is the ain, and then you've got the ra, which is the lam. Okay? So then you still have the alif to deal with. Change the color to make it easier. So you'll add that. And then you have the alif and hamza. That's what I made a mistake there. There's no alif to be added here. There's no hamza to be added here. So you say the wazn, the pattern of the colors is af'alu fa'la'u, af'alu fa'la'u, ahmaru hamra'u, azraqu zarqa'u. So basically you just line it up with the letters that will help you form the feminine. Zarqa'u from fa'la'u, taking these three letters as your root. Zar, and then adding zarqa, and then adding the alif and hamza at the end. Jayid, now I'll give you a word. Akhdaru, I'm using the color of the pen the same as the color, so you can, that's easier to recognize it, inshallah, to remember, hopefully. Akhdaru. What's the mu'annath?
خضراء
Ahsant. Khadra'u. Take another color. This is supposed to be yellow. I'm not sure how it's showing up on your screen. Asfaru. والمؤنث
صفراء
أحسنت. صفراء. Can anyone remember the word safra in the Quran? نعم نعم.
سورة البقرة.
أحسنت.
صفراء فاقع لونها.
Again, please.
سورة البقرة صفراء فاقع لونها تسر
بارك الله
الناظرين.
فيك. قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة صفراء فاقع لونها تسر الناظرين. This was when the Yahud, Bani Israel, they were arguing with Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam, they had been commanded by Allah Ta'ala to sacrifice a cow. Then they began to question and to delve and to ask what type of cow and what color is it, and so on and so forth. So in the end, they sacrificed it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about them, وَمَا كَادُوا يَفْعَلُونَ, yet they were about not to. They were almost about not to. They were trying to get everything to get away from sacrificing that cow. And subhanallah, and they ended up sacrificing the best of what they had. قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما لونها. Say, call upon your Lord to clarify to us what color is this cow. قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة صفراء. So now you know صفراء. This is ممنوع من الصرف because it's نعت of بقرة, which is nakira, which has tanween. بارك الله فيكم. طيب, let's do one more color over here, inshallah, which is this one over here. أسود المؤنث.
سوداء.
أحسنت. سوداء. جيد. Let's go back to where we were. Now you know basically the colors in مذكر and مؤنث, and you know آخر and أخرى the مؤنث also. And let's go back to where we were. جيد. قالت بلى عندي حقيبة حمراء أريد حقيبة أخرى سوداء. Oh, here's a question then. لماذا سوداء منصوب؟
نعت for حقيبة.
نعت لحقيبة. يعني نعت ثانية. Is that even allowed? I don't even know. حقيبة أخرى سوداء. Anyone else?
Ustad,
نعم.
in my version of book, it is written as Sauda.
It's written سوداء. Did you say? Sakib?
Yeah, Ustad, in my version of book, it is written as Hakibatan Ukhra Sauda.
With a dhamma.
With a Zama.
You want to go to the shop and get a refund? There's an interesting point, subhanAllah. Allah Mubarak, actually, just the other day, Sheikh Musa Richardson contacted me, okay? We were just discussing. And he drew my attention to his article on, you know, the workbook that recently came out, Al-Arba'in al-Nawawiyya. Amazing piece of work. I really would encourage everyone to get that. But also, before getting it, read his article of the background of how this workbook came about. And in it, he mentions that there is a very good sharh of Al-Arba'in al-Nawawiyya by Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan, the one that he used to explain, to go through these series of 150 approximately lessons that they did in the masjid. And he said that this print which has come out is the best one, except there's only one problem, is that all of the words are mushakkala. They all have tashkil on them already. They're let's say, vowel pointed. And he said that this is good for the beginner, it's encouraging, but at the same time, it makes a person over-reliant on those, I'm not sure if they're called diacritics or vowel points. And even if there's a mistake, a person ends up just falling into that mistake and not necessarily thinking what the correct one is. And he found an example of that, and he shows the example in that particular article. And so then he points you to another version, another book. Actually, in his workbook, he has the matan of Al-Arba'in, which is mushakkal with all the mushakkala with the tashkil, and one, I think he has it also without the tashkil, so that the person can also think by himself. And there are examples. We just seen one now from Brother Saqib's book over here. He has dhamma. Now, what's that going to do to a student learning Arabic? To see dhamma over here, you could be spending, such a long time trying to work out the i'rab of this word. Why does it have a dhamma? Why is it marfu? Is it actually, is it the fa'il of uridu, or is it linked to a hamra, or it's like, it can be really confusing. So in any case, it is mansub, but the reason is why. The question rather is why. And again, the sisters, you're welcome to type your answers. And also brothers that don't want to take the mic, you can type your answers. You feel encouraged to participate and partake, and be happy to make mistakes, no problem. We learn from our mistakes. We also learn from other people's mistakes.
And if ukhra was not there, and if it is aqibatan sauda, then it still works.
It still works. So in that case, should it not be badal from ukhra? So ukhra is na'at of haqibatan, and sauda is badal from ukhra. Wallahu a'lam. Jayid? Because if the word ukhra wasn't there, it would still make sense. She could have said uridu haqibatan sauda'a, and that would have been perfectly fine. طيب. Afwan, we can't. Naam.
Can it be both of them are Naat? Is there any chance?
I don't know.
Afwan.
Allahu Alam, Jazakallah khair. That's what the first brother mentioned as an option, and I said I don't know if it's even possible to have two Naats. جيد. طيب. تفضل. So that's basically most of the purpose of this lesson now has been served. There's one or two very important things left, and so let's keep reading until we get to them, inshallah. Then we'll go to the exercises. تفضل أخي.
الأب ماذا تريدين يا سعاد؟
أحسنت.
عندي مسطرة صغيرة أريد أخرى كبيرة.
أحسنت. And again, the same rules will apply. صغيرة, نعت of مسطرة, كبيرة, badal possibly of أخرى, and أخرى is نعت of no, عفوا, أخرى is مفعول به, and كبيرة is نعت of أخرى. جيد. تفضل.
وماذا تريدين أنت يا ليلى؟
أريد مصحفا ذا حرف كبير.
أحسنت. بارك الله فيك. ولماذا ذا منصوب؟ عفوا، ما إعراب ذا؟ That was my question supposed to be. Kind of like said it wrong. ما إعراب ذا؟
منصوب.
أحسنت. ولماذا؟
Not for مصحفا.
جيد. نعت. طيب. وعلامة نصبه؟
ألف.
الألف. أحسنت. لماذا؟
Five nouns. It's part of five nouns.
أيوة، لأنها من الأسماء الخمسة. لأنها من الأسماء الخمسة. You said the five nouns, yeah? بارك الله فيك. الأسماء الخمسة. الأسماء الخمسة, we mentioned last time, they are well known when they appear as mudaf, then the alamatul i'rab is going to be far'iyah, not asliyah. Okay? And those words are dhu and
Abu.
wa
Akhu.
akhu. أحسن. وأيضا
فم
نقول fam, that is the
Fam.
word, but when it's off, it will be
فم
ooh,
فم فور
ooh. الأخير أو الخامس, let's not say أخير. الخامس حمو. الحمو is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, somebody asked, you know, أرأيت الحمى أو أرأيت الحمو, what do you say about al-ham? This is the brother-in-law. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, al-hamul maut. He said, أرأيت الحم. He said, al-hamul maut. Brother-in-law is equivalent to death, because this person is so close to the family, so close to his brother, and his brother is married, and he's in and out of the presence of his sister-in-law, and shaitan can easily, you know, inflame the situation, and that which is dispraised and abhorrent may occur. And this reason, Prophet ﷺ, he forbade people being in seclusion with women. Yeah. And then someone said, but how about the brother-in-law? He's all coming and going all the time. And he said, this is he will moat. This is a severe, one of the most severe relationships, because nobody will question if your neighbor goes to work and you see a strange man coming into the house next door, you're going to raise your eyebrows, and you will start talking about it in the house, and you start questioning it and wondering what's going on, and maybe even phone next door to make sure everything's okay. But if you see the brother coming, you will not question it. You'll think it's totally fine. He's always coming and going. So the Muslim, he always keeps his guard up and keeps his integrity high and follows the guidance of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dhu, Abu, Akhu, Fu, and Hamu is known as Al-Asma al-Khamsa. And the reason basically is that هذه الكلمات تكون مضافا دائما جيد أو عندما تكون مضاف, rather I should say when they are مضاف تعرب بعلامات فرعية. The i'rab is done with the secondary signs of i'rab. Let's keep going inshallah, because there's something important that we haven't covered yet is coming up. Let me get Imran in, please, because I know that your mic wasn't working and now it is. So if I could ask Imran to step in, and also Adil, if I could ask you to read, you could read Salma, Imran can read Al-Abba. Before we do that, Mushafan, Jayid. Mushaf is refers to a copy of the Quran. Okay, the book that you have with you in your house, yeah, in the masjids, you see this book, Mushaf. So you don't say Uridu Qur'anan dha harfin kabirin. You don't say I want a Quran which has large letters. You say Uridu Mushafan. I want a copy. It's like saying a copy of the Quran. This is just a usage of wording which has reached us from the ulama of the past. If I'm not mistaken, it's possibly in the Sunnah as well. Let me just check that, inshallah. But in any case, the word Mus'haf refers to copies of the Quran. You can say Uridu thalatha masahifa. Yeah, you can say I want 3 copies of the Quran, 3 Mus'hafs. You don't generally say, you don't say Uridu thalatha Quran or something like that. Quran, there's no plural, is there? So in any case, the Mus'haf is the word to use for the actual printed Quran. أريد مصحفا ذا حرف كبير. What does it mean, ذا حرف كبير?
Big letters.
Large letters.
Large letters printed with big letters. Barakallah feek. طيب تفضل أخي عمران. أين عمران؟ Your microphone broken again.
أما تريدين شيئا يا سلمى عفوا
أما تريدين شيئا يا سلمى. Another negative question. Salma says
بلى أريد معجما إنجليزيا وآخر فرنسيا.
جيد فرنسيا. So معنى معجم. ما معنى معجم؟
Dictionary.
جيد dictionary. I want an English dictionary and another one آخر French dictionary. المعجم مذكر أو مؤنث؟
It seems to be مذكر itself.
Because of
Mhm.
because of آخر. جيد وآخر فرنسيا. في الأخير قال oh that's not the أخير. This was oh subhanallah. Yeah. بسم الله.
أما تريد أمك شيئا
Ustad, just 2 points, if you don't mind,
تفضل
Ustad.
أخي.
You know, Morjaman Inglesian, I was just thinking, if say in the place of Morjaman, if we had a ism which was of the muannas form,
Yeah.
so I was thinking maybe English, lady, for example. So imra'atan.
No, you don't have to say lady. You can say books.
Oh, okay. Love,
Let's put
Ustad, yes.
something in mind.
No, I think that's
Cars. You know, they also made cars in that country. أريد سيارة.
So, okay, أريد سيارة إنجليزيا or
إنجليزية. إنجليزية. Yeah.
Okay, that is interesting. Now that's what I was trying to pick, Ustad, because when you put the arrow over there to say Morjaman, we are regarding it as Muzakkar.
Yeah.
I thought you might have put it from Inglesiya to there.
Oh,
So
I see.
I was just intrigued when you put it from the other thing, because I thought that a sifa, because Inglesiya is the sifa, Sahi?
Yes. So Inglesian. This is actually, you're right. That would have been an easier way to recognize mu'jam al mudhakkar or mu'annath. But I mean, I knew it was obvious that this is mudhakkar because there's no ta marbuta. I was actually highlighting. I wanted to just draw the attention to the difference of akhir and ukhra.
Yeah.
And that this is used for mudhakkar. So almost like a reinforcement of that word. But yes, for definitely, you're right. Inglesiyan, that was a clear enough indicator that mu'jam is mudhakkar. And afwan about the joke earlier, was not intended by anything.
No, that's fine. All right. Okay, and the second point, Ustad, which I had was, the fact that dictionary was mentioned.
There's no harm in a halal manner to nurid imra'atan inglesiyatan.
Yes. So, Ustad, when we talked about the dictionary, I was just thinking, and I know we did discuss this at one point in time, is if we could spend maybe one dars, whenever, it's not obviously not now, but whichever dars, to go through a simple English dictionary, and I know, yes, English Arabic dictionary. One of them, which Sheikh Abdul Rahim himself has actually created, which is dedicated for the Madeenah books. So yeah, I came across that, and I was just going through it. So I thought it would be good, maybe if we can spend some lesson, maybe 1 or 2 lessons, just to navigate the dictionary and to help us, like.
To be honest, that was one of my biggest problems when I first started learning Arabic. I had a dictionary, and I would always complain to the teacher that the word that you've given me is not in here.
Yeah.
And I would give the dictionary to him, and within 15 seconds, 10 seconds, he'd pull the word out. So it's how to use the dictionary is key, and it helps a lot.
Yeah, true.
We'll do that, inshallah. So let's just press on, because I'm conscious of time and I need to get to the end of this dars today.
Yep.
So then he says, so that he's gone from turidina all this time, 3 times or 4. He said, Mada turidina ya Hafsatu. Then ماذا تريدين يا سعاد ماذا تريدين أنت يا ليلى then تريدين يا سلمى and then all of a sudden تريد why لماذا
لأن هي ولا أنت.
بارك الله فيك لأن لأن الفاعل نعم مفرد غائب مؤنث أمك جيد so here is the same as أنت in the المضارع أنت تريد وهي تريد جيد تفضل أخي الكريم ماذا قالت سلمى
ما أدري أسألها
بارك الله فيك أسألها هذا سؤال جيد notice how the two hamzas are together she didn't say أسألها لماذا
both are همزة القطع.
Yes.
أحسنت كلاهما both of them همزة القطع if one of them was همزة الوصل then you would say then you would put the mud there for example Allahu khairun and that man who came to the Prophet ﷺ and said Allahu amaraka bihada was it Allah that commanded you to do this Indeed. And also in the ayah الذكرين حرم عمل الأنثيين was it the two males that he forbade or was it the two females طيب تفضل أخي
أستاذ
تفضل
why it is used ما أدري instead of لا أدري
instead of لا أدري because I mean we spoke about ما النافية and لا النافية in the درس الخامس عشر and the two uses of both and one of them basically both of them are allowed one of them is almost like a permanent negation and one of them is a temporary negation so
جزاك الله خير
والله أعلم طيب and then he said
نعم اسأليها.
جيد اسأليها now this is interesting فعل أمر طيب and it is سأل becomes سألت in the past tense جيد and then in the present tense it is أنت تسألين أنت تسألين جيد now I'm doing مخاطبة I want to change this into فعل مضارع فعل أمر عفوا so the first thing حذف حرف المضارعة جيد then you have this سكون left on the scene and this is مرفوع with نون ثبوت النون and فعل الأمر is مجزوم بحذف النون so now you are left with okay so here we need Hamza al-Wasl in order to create the sound at the beginning so it becomes and because there's a fatha on that letter there yeah so then over here you have a kasra you say is'ali ask and then he said is'aliha ask her جيد فعل أمر and ضمير is the فاعل is أنت ضمير مستتر and ها this is the مفعول به جيد sorry if it sounds rushed I know that we've done fi'l amr before, and I just wanted to revise the topic because I'm trying to get to something right at the end before our time finishes. I suspect our time has finished. تفضل أخي.
تخرج ثم تدخل بعد قليل.
جيد. So من
هي
تخرج؟
سلمى.
Salma takhruju. Salma goes out and she comes back after a short while and says,
هي تقول إنها تريد 3 أمتار من هذا القماش. خذ هذا النموذج يا أبتي.
Barakallah feek. What does that sentence mean? Please, someone explain it to me.
She said that she need 3 meters of this cloth.
Taqulu, the mother said.
Ah.
That innaha, that she.
Indeed, she wants
3
meters of from this cloth.
Of this cloth. خذ هذا النموذج. خذ means
take.
To take. From أخذ يأخذ خذ.
خذ.
هذا النموذج. النموذج منصوب. ولماذا منصوب؟
لأنه بدل.
أحسنت. بدل من هذا. هذا is مفعول به. خذ هذا. جيد. النموذج. نموذج is an interesting word. Basically, it means sample. Okay? But nowadays, you can see the word namudaj being also used for other things. It means, one sense, it means exemplary. Right? Something is exemplary, meaning this is shay'un namudaji, meaning it's ideal. Another word is being used also, namudaj these days, is the same as istimara. Istimara, which means a form that you have to fill out for something, application form. They call it namudaj. At least they do that in Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure if it's being used in the same way in other local countries. If you guys can tell me, that's fine. Ya abati, we had that before, which means dear father. Al-ab says, afwan for the speed. Al-qumash, what does qumash mean?
Cloth.
Cloth, material, yeah. Material cloth that they use to make clothes. طيب. تفضل أخي إمران.
سأشتري لكم ما تريدون إن شاء الله.
جيد. سأشتري. That scene is للمستقبل, and he says أشتري. أشتري. And that is basically the very first verb almost that we had. تفضل أخي سلطان, at the beginning of the dars, where he said, where did it come?
وسأذهب سكمة.
Yeah. أذهب, yeah? No, it's over here. He says over here is أما اشتريت لك دفترا في الأسبوع الماضي. أما اشتريت لك. Fadl Sultan, you talk, I'll stop talking. Go ahead. Is it something that you wanted to say, Akhi? طيب لا بأس. I saw that your mic was on. I suspected you want to say something. طيب. سأشتري لكم ما تريدون. And this is what I was trying to get to very quickly. ما. Before he said ما أدري. And before that he said أما تريد أمك شيئا. أما تريدين. ماذا تريدين. So now, which ma is this? Is it ma al-nafiya? Is it ma al-istifhamiyya? Is it ma al-ta'ajjubiyya? What ma is it? Or is it a new ma altogether?
The new ma.
The answer is the new ma. And basically this is called ma al-mawsula. And basically it is the same as alladhi and allati. Ma al-mawsula. So just look at the word and read it. Change the word for alladhi. أشتري لكم الذي تريدون إن شاء الله. Or allati. سأشتري لكم التي تريدون إن شاء الله. Basically the same. This harf mim is ma al mawsula and it means which or that which. طيب. And that is الدرس السادس عشر. Let's quickly go to the exercises and pick out some for homework. Sadly, we don't have time to read any, which I was hoping that we're going to be able to do. But here we have over here التمرين الخامس. Please do that one. And also التمرين السادس, just reading. And then we have التمرين السابع, from your own self. You choose the colors that you like to put in. And we've done ثامن and تاسع already. التمرين العاشر. جيد, this is important. أخرى and آخر. التمرين العاشر. طيب, ألف and باء. And continues into التمرين الحادي عشر, because we're closing the unit now, so the rest of the exercises that we hadn't previously highlighted for homework, these are the ones that we'll be asking you to do, inshallah. And here we have ما الموصولة. تأمل الأمثلة. Just read and think about the examples. Look at this ayah in the Quran. لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون. Why do you say that which you do not do? Yeah. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون. I do not worship that which you worship. And then here is a lesson on the different types of ما النافية, ما الاستفهامية, ما الموصولة, and their examples. And here's that. We didn't really speak about this much, I think. غير basically means without. And then again, as usual, read the al-kalimat al-jadida, understand them, check them, know them, learn them, and think about them, ask questions about them if you need to. Next lesson, inshallah. Does anyone have any questions to close the lesson today? طيب, والله أعلم. تفضل. والله أعلم, وصلى اللهم وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So there's a question that I just seen. Using of the usage of the Arabic dictionary, is it the same as the English one? It is pretty much the same, except that the English dictionary, you go in alphabetical order. You exhaust the first letter, then you go to the second letter in alphabetical order. You exhaust that and you go in alphabetical order. And it's the same over here as well. It's the same thing, except the only difference is you have to identify the root word by yourself. Now I'll give you an example. Here you have the word kumash. Where are we looking? In this word here you have the word kumash. See it, Zaid? If I go to the dictionary, I go to harf qaf. After that, I go to harf mim. If I go to mim and alif, I'm not going to find this word there. I'll go through all of the words that have qaf, mim, and alif. I won't find anything. Then I'm going to give up. I'll say, oh, the dictionary is not good. Doesn't have all the words. But in actual fact, if you go to qaf, mim, and sheen, you probably find it there. That will probably be the. It will be, in that particular place. And same for mushafun. If you go to mim, sad, and ha, you're not going to find it. You have to know that sin, ha, and fa, these are the root letters. So the sad is the fa of the kalima, and ha is the ain of the kalima, and fa is the lam of the kalima. And then you go to Sad, Ha, Fa. In that area, you're going to find Mushaf. Barakallah fik.
Also, I can see one of the questions from one of the sisters. Oh no, maybe that was a response to one of your points over there. And I guess, Ustad, we will probably go into this dictionary usage in in a dedicated class, or maybe dedicated 2 or 3 classes, depending on how it goes. Because I think we have sort of reached a level where we need to start using the dictionary. And even I personally also struggle, actually, even now. So I was just keen that if we can get some tips from yourself and show some practical examples. So maybe during that class we can ask the students that, okay, select a word, and then we practice that. Let's try and see how we can do it.
Muzammil, if you permit me. So when we come to, I think soon we're going to be coming to the place where the different types of verbs are going to slowly get introduced. I think this is okay what you're saying for nouns, but because the dictionaries are organized in verb form, and then within the verbs you have the different types, right? You have verb 1, verb 2, verb 3, which we haven't explored at all. Right? No one knows right now that there's presumably no one knows that there's a verb which is more than 3 letters. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically, or it's still a 3-letter verb with 1 letter extra, or it's a 4-letter asli verb, and the different patterns and that is the main reason I think that people use dictionaries. In any case, I think the dedication that might happen probably at, like you said, dedicated lessons, but maybe not like all at once. Possibly spread out according to, but we introduce the verbs, have a lesson, we're looking at the different verbs, I'm looking at the nouns, maybe. Just thinking out loud, but definitely we can discuss it, inshallah, and see how we can introduce it, incorporate it into the classes.
Sure. Sounds good. And I'm conscious, your Isha time is going to.
Yeah, exactly. I have to go now, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Was there a question over there? Can you write mustashfa in lazy Arabic so I can see if I am doing my scene right? Oh, I see.
Is brother Imran saying that Ustad is lazy, or?
No. It's not called lazy Arabic. It's called ruk'ah. Ruk'ah basically is the quick writing, okay? And let me just, I've unplugged my, what do you call that tablet thing? Let me quickly plug it in and get the response back. So here, mustashfa is like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the if you talk about ruk'ah, or don't call it the lazy way, but basically the sheen is just one line. So you'll go like this and go. And then some people, after they do this, you don't need to do those 3 lines. You just basically like that. This is known as, that's the seen, that's the sheen, that's the ta. And okay, Imran? Is there a certain length? No, I don't think there's a certain length. It can be long, it can be short, it's up to you. Even that would work like that. There is a brother Yusuf. Okay, alhamdulillah, you've answered him. Question he's asking you on the side. طيب, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خير.
ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خير. جزاك الله خير, Ikhwan. We'll now